Hello everyone, and welcome. Let's get started and dive into understanding how our social experiences shape our growth. Developed by Erikson, the psychosocial development theory explains how our personality develops throughout life, from infancy all the way to old age. Erikson built upon Freud's psychosexual theory, but he expanded the idea by proposing that development isn't limited to childhood. Instead, it continues across the entire lifespan. This theory is called a psychosocial theory because it emphasizes two key aspects: psychological development, which includes our mind, emotions, and personality, and social development, which involves our relationships, family, society, and culture. Erikson believed that at each stage of life, a person faces a specific conflict or crisis. How we resolve these crises influences whether we develop a healthy personality. If we succeed, we grow and thrive. If we struggle or fail, it might lead to adjustment problems later on. Erikson paid more attention to social relationships, identity development, emotional maturity, and growth throughout the entire lifespan. He famously stated that the personality develops through a series of psychosocial crises, meaning these challenges shape who we become over time. Erikson believed that human beings are active, social, and growth-oriented. Every individual has the capacity to develop positively if their environment provides support, trust, acceptance, and opportunities. It's important to remember that human development doesn't stop in childhood. In fact, development continues from birth all the way through life. Each stage of life offers a chance to build psychological strength, which Erikson called ego virtues. Some examples include hope, will, purpose, and competence. As we progress through these stages, we develop these strengths, which help us handle future challenges more effectively. Erikson proposed that human development occurs through 8 distinct psychosocial stages. Each of these stages presents a specific crisis that we need to navigate. The process involves moving from a crisis to a resolution, which then shapes our personality outcome. If we resolve these crises positively, we tend to develop in a healthy and adaptive way. But if they go unresolved, it can lead to maladjustment or difficulties later on. It's important to remember that these crises are normal and necessary parts of development. They are not signs of mental illness. Instead, they are developmental turning points that everyone encounters as they grow. This is the first and most important stage in a child's development. At this point, the infant depends completely on caregivers for essential needs like food, comfort, warmth, safety, and love. These basic needs are crucial for building a foundation of trust. When caregivers provide consistent care, affection, and emotional security, the child begins to develop trust. This trust leads the child to feel that the world is a safe place. On the other hand, if care is inconsistent, rejecting, or neglectful, the child may develop mistrust, feeling that the world is unsafe. This early stage also influences the development of ego strength, specifically hope. Hope is the belief that people and the world can be trusted, which is vital for future relationships and emotional resilience. Remember, this stage aligns with the first of Erikson's psychosocial stages of development, trust versus mistrust, which occurs from birth to about 1 year of age. It's the foundation for how children view the world and their ability to trust others as they grow. Now, at this stage, the child begins to explore independence. You might notice them starting to walk, speak, or feed themselves. They may also start toilet training or choose things independently. These are all signs that they're trying to assert their independence and learn to do things on their own. When parents encourage safe independence, the child develops a sense of autonomy. They start to think, "I can do things myself," which is a healthy sign of confidence and self-reliance. However, if parents are overly critical or controlling during this phase, the child might develop shame and doubt. Instead of feeling capable, they might think, "I am incapable," which can hinder their confidence. This process is crucial because it helps develop ego strength, specifically willpower. It's about building confidence to make choices independently, which is foundational for their overall psychosocial development. Remember, this stage is all about balancing support and guidance to foster a healthy sense of autonomy, without instilling shame or doubt. Now, let's look at how children begin to explore their world during this stage. They start asking questions, which shows their curiosity and desire to understand their environment. They engage in role play, using their imagination to imitate adults and create scenarios, which is a key part of their learning process. They also take initiative, trying out new activities and making decisions on their own. Social interaction becomes increasingly important as they learn how to cooperate and communicate with others. When children are supported in this stage, they develop a sense of initiative, feeling confident enough to try new things with the mindset of "I can try." However, if they are punished or discouraged, they might develop guilt, thinking "my actions are wrong." This balance is crucial because it influences how they develop ego strength. When they succeed and are encouraged, they gain purpose and confidence in their ability to take initiative independently. They learn to make choices confidently, which builds their sense of self and independence. This stage, known as initiative versus guilt, spans from ages 3 to 6. It's a vital period where children are establishing their sense of purpose and developing the ability to act with confidence. The way adults respond to their efforts can either foster a healthy sense of initiative or contribute to feelings of guilt, impacting their overall psychosocial development. This is the school-age stage, a crucial period where children start to compare themselves with their peers in various areas. They look at how they do in academics, sports, communication, and their social performance. These comparisons are really important because they influence how children see themselves and their abilities. When children experience success during this stage, it fosters a sense of industry. They think to themselves, "I am capable," and this belief helps them develop confidence and competence. Success here leads to a positive ego strength, where they believe in their ability to succeed in future challenges. On the other hand, if children face repeated criticism or failure, they might develop feelings of inferiority. They might think, "I am not good enough," which can undermine their self-esteem and motivation. It's important to remember that these experiences shape their developing sense of self. This stage is about building that essential belief in oneself, what we call ego strength. When children develop competence and believe in their abilities, they're more likely to approach future tasks with confidence. This development is fundamental to the overall theme of psychosocial growth, particularly during this critical phase from 6 to 12 years old. Adolescents often ask themselves, "Who am I? And what should I become?" They also wonder, "What is my place in society?" These are fundamental questions during this stage of development. When exploration is successful, it leads to the formation of a strong sense of identity and a clear understanding of oneself. This sense of self is crucial because it helps guide future choices and builds confidence. However, if this exploration fails or is interrupted, it can result in role confusion. That may look like confusion, instability, or a poor self-image, which can make it harder to navigate life's challenges. During this stage, developing ego strength is essential. One key aspect of that is fidelity, the ability to remain true to oneself, even when faced with competing influences. This concept ties into the broader theme of psychosocial development, specifically Stage 5, which spans from about 12 to 18 years old. This is the critical period when adolescents work through their identity versus role confusion. It's a time of searching, experimenting, and ultimately, establishing who they are and where they belong in the world. Now, at this stage, the person seeks close relationships, emotional bonding, friendship, love, and trust. These are fundamental human needs that drive us to connect with others on a deep level. When success is achieved in forming these connections, it often leads to intimacy and healthy relationships, which are vital for our emotional well-being. However, if these needs aren't met or if there's failure along the way, it can lead to feelings of isolation, loneliness, and withdrawal. This struggle impacts our ego strength, but overcoming it helps develop love and the ability to form deep emotional connections. In the context of psychosocial development, this is what we call stage 6, intimacy versus isolation, typically occurring in young adulthood. It's a critical phase where building meaningful relationships shapes our overall development and future happiness. Now let's shift our focus to an important stage in life, one that really defines how we see ourselves and our place in the world. This stage is about parenting, productivity, and contributing to society. It's also about mentoring others and passing on our knowledge and values. When we experience success during this phase, it leads to what we call generativity. That's feeling useful, productive, and that our efforts are making a difference. It's about leaving a positive impact and feeling connected to something larger than ourselves. On the flip side, failure in this stage can lead to stagnation. That's when we feel unproductive, disconnected, and perhaps even lost in our purpose. It's a crucial point because our sense of ego strength really develops here, through care and concern for others and future generations. This stage, which is part of the 8 stages of psychosocial development, is known as stage 7, generativity versus stagnation. It's typically experienced in middle adulthood. So, in essence, this is a pivotal time where the choices we make about how we give back and nurture others shape not just our own well-being, but also our legacy. As we look at this stage, wisdom, we see that older adults often reflect on their lives. If they feel satisfied with what they've experienced, they tend to develop a sense of integrity, which brings peace and acceptance. It's like reaching a point where they can look back and feel a sense of completeness. On the other hand, if they carry feelings of regret, they might develop despair, hopelessness, and fear about the future or the past. This process influences ego strength, which in turn fosters wisdom. When someone accepts their life with maturity, they achieve a sense of acceptance that contributes to overall psychological health. This stage, stage 8 of psychosocial development, integrity versus despair, is really about how older adults reconcile their life stories. The key takeaway here is that the way they interpret their life's journey, either with satisfaction or regret, shapes their mental and emotional well-being in old age. Ultimately, this stage underscores the importance of reflection and acceptance for developing wisdom and achieving a sense of peace. According to Erikson, distress occurs when psychosocial crises remain unresolved. When these conflicts aren't addressed, they can lead to emotional and mental struggles later in life. For example, if trust isn't established during early development, it can result in feelings of anxiety. Similarly, experiencing shame might lead to low confidence, and struggling with feelings of inferiority can cause poor self-esteem. Role confusion often triggers an identity crisis, while feelings of isolation can develop into depression. It's important to recognize that speech and hearing disorders can actually make these unresolved conflicts even more intense. Take a child with severe stuttering, for instance. This can interfere with their sense of industry and lead to feelings of inferiority, which may result in long-term low self-esteem. So, understanding these links helps us see how unresolved psychosocial crises, especially when compounded by communication disorders, can significantly impact a person's psychological well-being. The main goal here is to achieve a healthy resolution of psychosocial crises. This means helping individuals work through challenges in a way that promotes growth and well-being. Specifically, it involves supporting people in building trust, which is fundamental for forming meaningful relationships. It also includes helping them develop independence so they can manage their lives confidently. Improving confidence is another key aspect, enabling individuals to face new situations with resilience. Additionally, helping people form a healthy identity is crucial for their sense of self and how they relate to the world. Strengthening relationships and fostering healthy social connections are vital for overall well-being. Lastly, guiding individuals to adapt to life transitions ensures they can handle change effectively and maintain stability. In essence, the overall theme is supporting individuals in overcoming challenges so they can grow into healthier, more resilient versions of themselves. the counselor takes on multiple roles to effectively support clients. They become a guide, helping clients navigate their personal journeys and understanding themselves better. They also act as a supporter, providing encouragement and reassurance throughout the process. Additionally, the counselor functions as an emotional stabilizer, helping clients manage their feelings and maintain emotional balance. Beyond these roles, they serve as a developmental facilitator, assisting clients in their growth and development. The counselor's goal is to help the client understand their developmental struggles, which might include challenges from different life stages. They work on resolving emotional conflicts that could be holding the client back, and they aim to strengthen the client's ego identity, fostering a stronger sense of self. They also focus on improving coping skills, giving clients practical tools to handle life's stresses more effectively. Rebuilding self-confidence is a key part of this process, helping clients feel more secure and empowered. Importantly, the counselor doesn't work in isolation. They collaborate with parents, teachers, caregivers, and rehabilitation teams to create a supportive network around the client. This teamwork ensures a comprehensive approach that addresses all aspects of the client's development and well-being. Eriksons psychosocial development theory is a comprehensive model that explains how personality develops throughout our entire lifespan. It emphasizes that successfully resolving psychosocial crises at each stage contributes to healthy emotional and social adjustment. This makes the theory highly practical, especially in fields like counseling, where understanding these developmental stages can guide effective support. One of the key strengths of Eriksons' theory is that it covers the entire lifespan, from infancy to old age, providing a holistic view of development. It clearly explains how our sense of identity evolves over time, linking emotional growth directly to social experiences. This connection is crucial because it helps us understand why certain problems or challenges might surface at different stages of life. Overall, Eriksons' theory is important because it applies across various settings: schools, hospitals, and speech-language pathology clinics like BASLP programs. It helps us see how emotional and social development are intertwined, which is essential for effective intervention and support. Understanding these stages empowers us to better support our clients' growth and help them overcome psychosocial crises at the right time.